Hello, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about a very tragic aircraft accident that happened today, Thursday, June 12th of 2025. Today we're going to be discussing Air India's Flight 171, operated by Boeing 787-8, flying from India to England. Overall, just a tragic event here. It's just so tough to think about. Like I said, flying from Amsterdam to the airport of London Gatwick, and just so incredibly sad. There's a very disturbing video out there. I'm sure many of you have seen it by this point, but it appears that the aircraft was possibly stalling at approximately 625 feet, and it landed near a residential area near the airport. There was somehow one survivor out of the 242 people that were believed to have been on board. Just unbelievable. It's crazy. One person, just catastrophic. Really tough to think about. It's just crazy to think that one person somehow survived it. It was a huge drop. Just looked detrimental in every way possible. It's just unbelievable to see one person survive it. There's more details here online and so forth, but this is the first confirmed 787 fatal accident since 2011 when the aircraft debuted, which is just insane. Obviously, the aircraft's been a very reliable and safe aircraft. We obviously don't have any idea what caused this accident. We have a few preliminary details, so we'll take a look at these. So again, this was going to London Gatwick, and what Air India, but as you can see here, footage from the scene shows the aircraft gradually losing altitude before erupting into a fireball once it impacted the ground. It was identified as a doctor's housing complex linked to a nearby medical facility. So there was a bunch of houses near the area, but it appeared that it dropped into that medical area. So with what we have here, the airport suspended operations before resuming later in the day, and the investigation is being led by India's Aircraft Investigation Bureau, which is the AAIB, and it will include review of flight data, maintenance history, structural records, and it also appears that the U.S. National Transportation Safety Board and multiple reports of the UK AAIB are also offered assistance, which I think it's really helpful that everywhere is offering help in such a tragic time. But their Directives General of Civil Aviation DGCA confirmed that the crew issued a mayday call moments after takeoff, though no further communication was received. Kelly Ogburd, which is CEO and president of Boeing, said in a statement, quote, "Our deepest condolences go out to the loved ones of passengers and crew on board Air India Flight 171, as well as everyone affected in Ahmedabad. I've spoken with Air India chairman in Kyrgyzstan to offer our full support, in a Boeing team stand ready to support the investigation led by India's Aircraft Investigation Bureau," end quote. So I couldn't have said it better in regards to filling out for all the loved ones. It's just catastrophic. There's some really, really tough stories that have already been posted, including a family of 5 that was moving to India, it was moving between the countries that did not make it, which is just so sad, along with all 200 plus people and everybody on the ground as well. There's unfortunately several already confirmed fatalities on the ground as well. So it's so incredibly sad. And I'm not going to go too much into this portion of it, but the 787, like it talks about here, has had an incredible safety record over the last nearly 15 years. And it's been a very safe aircraft. There's been a couple of small battery fires, which fortunately weren't fatal, but obviously this was later way more fatal. So there was a couple of different ELT situations. So who knows what happened with this aircraft and how this possibly would have, occurred. There's only so much speculation, but if you watch the video closely, you can certainly see the aircraft stalling out in some capacity. The nose was pointed way high and only gained more and more pitch as the aircraft continued to essentially stall, which is extremely sad. But it's unbelievable to think, as we know, aviation is one of the safest modes of transportation by a mile, not even close. And anytime a fatality happens, it's catastrophic or major injuries. But obviously, in such a substantial situation like this, all hearts and just love goes out to everybody affected. It's so catastrophic in so many ways, and it's so tough to think about. Hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it. Obviously, we had the American PSA and helicopter from earlier this year, and a few other fatalities throughout the process. Obviously, till now, there's been smaller ones as well. It's so tough to think about. So, just all wishes and prayers and all the best to everybody affected. And it's crazy to think that one person somehow survived this. Is, I think, a really big takeaway as well. It's so crazy. It's unbelievable. That person was in 11A and he was in the exit row, and somehow he summarized that he was able to escape the fireball very promptly after the accident, but he reports that a large bang was heard. So obviously they'll retrieve the black boxes, and the investigation, I'm sure, will be going on for several years from now until whenever they figure out what happened. But possibly some sort of engine rupture, maybe. The video's not clear enough to distinguish any, broken parts on, especially the right side of the aircraft. It's kind of at an angle from the back right of the aircraft. So possibly the left engine, maybe, because he did say a large bang, and being in 11A, he would have been right next to the engine. He didn't report on any visuals from the window. He just said it happened very fast, or a large bang. So it could very well be somewhere on the right side of the aircraft. The landing gear were deployed, it appeared, as well through the video. So it's just so unfortunate regardless of what happened. But one could think that maybe the number one engine would have had some sort of problems on the left side is a possibility. But again, there's really not much to work with. So, and I think this really hits home for why aviation is so important. Doesn't matter if it's the United States, India, Australia, Asia, Africa, South America, Europe, anywhere that any sort of situation happens, we have to be here for each other no matter what. And this is just so catastrophic for the entire India region and beyond. And I just feel for everybody. Again, there were so many tough stories and so many just catastrophic pictures and videos that surfaced. So all my thoughts, prayers, and best wishes goes out to everybody affected, and of course, and everybody on the ground as well. It's such a catastrophic event, and I'm always hoping for the best. But at the very least, I need to make this video to send out my best wishes, because I feel like I'm obligated to do so, and it's certainly a very tough situation to watch. But what can we say? It's a part of it. So all the best to everybody involved. Again, very tough situation, and just needed to get on here and speak on to, I feel for everybody in this situation. So hope all of you continue to have big takeaways. It's certainly crazy to think of all of what's happening, but staying safe and being careful is extremely important. So with that said, all the best to everybody involved. So sad, and we will hope for safer days in aviation to come. Take care, everyone. Stay safe.